This video is going to be for Tuesday, it's the 23rd, and it's going to be our grammar lesson for the day. So we are going to be starting chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about adjectives. So adjectives are the fourth part of speech that we have studied, okay? And adjectives modify or add to nouns and pronouns. So really what they do is they describe, they give us more information. And they tell us a few different things. Some adjectives tell us which one. Some tell us whose, like who does it belong to. Some tell us how many and what kind of. There are some other adjectives that we call articles. So articles are the words a, an, and the, okay? A, an, and the are always adjectives. You will hear me refer to them as articles, and we have talked about articles this year already, but the three articles are a, an, and the, and they are always adjectives, okay? So when we diagram them as adjectives. Okay, so if you are looking at page 276, there are a few sentences. We are going to look at one and kind of take it apart. So the sentence says, my little brother caught 4 tiny silver fish. So my subject is brother, okay? What did the brother do? He caught. Whom or what did he catch? Fish, okay? That's my direct object. Now, I could say, my brother caught fish, and that would be a simple sentence. But I've given you even more information because I have added adjectives. So we automatically know a little more about the brother, okay? We know what kind he was. He was little. We also know whose brother he was. He was my brother, okay? Same thing with fish. My little brother caught 4 tiny silver fish, okay? What kind of fish? They were tiny, they were silver. How many? There were 4 of them. So 4, tiny, and silver are all adjectives. They modify my noun or pronoun, or they give me more information, okay? They describe. All right, so now we are going to look at another sentence. We're going to take it apart, and then I'm going to show you how we diagram our adjectives, okay? The fluffy white snow covered our muddy tracks. So what is my subject, first off? Remember, my subject tells me who or what the whole sentence is about. Okay? Snow. My sentence is about snow. What did the snow do? That's going to be my predicate or my verb. It covered. Now, we're going to look for a direct object. My direct object, remember, tells me whom or what. So whom or what did the snow cover? It covered tracks, okay? So I'm going to circle this because it's a direct object. So that's going to be my sentence skeleton. It's the basis of my whole diagram. And we've been diagramming things like these for a while, okay? Remember, our subject always goes on the left. Snow. What did the snow do? Covered. Okay, and remember, our direct object is diagrammed with a straight line that only goes to the top of my base. And my direct object was tracks. Okay, so that's my sentence skeleton, but I've got more words that I'm missing. So remember, I said that my articles, a, an, and the, are always diagrammed as adjectives. Well, right off the bat, I have the word the, okay? So, the is telling me more about the snow. So I'm going to diagram it underneath snow with a slanted line. okay? What kind of snow? Well, it was fluffy and it was white. So I'm going to diagram each of those same way under snow because it is describing or telling me more about my noun snow. Okay, now remember, adjectives modify nouns or pronouns. It doesn't modify a verb. So I'm going to skip right over my verb. I'm going to go to my direct object. We know direct objects are nouns or pronouns. Okay, in this case, we have the noun tracks. Well, whose tracks were they? They were ours. So same thing, slanted line. I'm going to diagram. What kind of tracks? They were muddy. So same thing, slanted line under the noun that it modifies or describes, okay? So now I have my whole sentence diagrammed. The fluffy white snow covered our muddy tracks, okay? It's pretty simple, right? And we have been practicing diagramming for a while. So if you look at oral drill on page 277, okay, so we're on page 277, oral drill. We are going to skip right to part B, and it says give some adjectives to describe these things. The first one is the word mountains. So what are some words that you can think of that would describe mountains? Well, which mountains were they? Were they the Andes Mountains? Were they the Guadalupe Mountains? Or all different kinds of mountains, all different names. Those would all be adjectives, okay? What kind of mountains were they? Were they tall mountains? Were they snow-covered mountains? All of these are adjectives. They are words to describe or tell us more about the mountains. Number 2 says birds, okay? Same thing, words to describe the birds. Were they blue? Were there 4 of them? Were they small? Were they large? All of those words would be an adjective because they tell us more or they describe the word birds. Number 3 is trees. Same thing, guys. So we're looking for adjectives, words to describe the trees. They were tall, they were green. There were 3 of them. These are all words to describe, tell us more about the word trees, okay? So they are adjectives. Part C, it tells us to add adjectives to these sentences. Cat caught mouse. It's a sentence, but it's not a really great sentence. So how could we make it better? Well, we can make it better by adding adjectives. What kind of cat was it? Was it the mean cat? Was it the fat cat? Okay, so let's say the fat cat caught what kind of mouse? The small mouse. So remember, my article, the, fat, those are both adjectives. Tells us more about the cat. Caught, what kind of mouse? The small mouse. So that's all we really need to remember are adjectives describe or tell us more about our nouns and pronouns. You need to remember that they tell us which, whose, how many, what kind of. You also need to remember that the articles a, and the are always going to be adjectives, and they will always be diagrammed as adjectives. also need to remember that when we diagram an adjective, we diagram it under the noun that it's describing with a slanted line, okay? So what I want you to do right now is you are going to go to page 278. And on page 278, you are going to diagram part B. Okay, so part B, you have numbers 1 through 7. Let me write this down. And I'm going to text this out to your parents too. So page 278, written practice. Part B, 1 through 7. You're going to diagram those sentences. Now remember, in the sentence that we did, there was a direct object. Not every sentence is going to have a direct object. So just do your best. See where we get on that. Then I also want you to do part C. And part C gives you a few different words, and it just wants you to give some adjectives to describe it. You don't have to write sentences. It just wants you to give some adjectives. So part B, you're going to diagram. And part C, you're going to write adjectives describing the few words that they give you, okay? So that's your assignment for today, for Tuesday, 23rd, I believe. And let's see where we get on that. And tomorrow we will talk a little more about adjectives. So that's grammar today for 4th grade.